See that thing right there? That's called a battery disconnect. That's one of the cheapest and most important things you can do to prevent batteries from going dead on vehicles that sit a while. Now, if you have an electronic vehicle, or it's still going to start, but your computer's going to be reset. If you disconnect the battery, including your presets on your radio and stuff. But this is an old El Camino. I should probably set one up on my Jeep too. I think I'm going to. The other thing is, when I use the specialized rejuvenating battery charger, even though you can put it on there with the terminals completely connected, it's actually better not to do it without them connected all the way. So when you put the battery charger on it, like one of the Bedini rejuvenation type battery chargers that could make these batteries last decades and give them even more power, you can charge them with this connected, but it's better not to do so. And so when I put that special charger on it, I disconnect it, or even if I put the trickle charger on it. This is one of your biggest problems with cars and trucks, or like say you got a vehicle that's your everyday vehicle, and you got other vehicles out there that you don't use too much. One of the biggest problems is if you let them sit around, the battery craps out, and it's not because the battery's a lousy battery, but all these vehicles have what you call parasitic draw, and there's a limit to what the parasitic draw should be. Otherwise you go check to see where the problem is. But the thing is, there's always some kind of parasitic draw. So disconnecting the battery removes that problem. So there's less drain over 3-4 months and all this kind of crap. The other thing is, I don't use that special red stuff for the battery terminals. I usually use this stuff. It's dielectric grease. It's made for any electrical contact. Now, the other thing is, say for instance, you suspect you got a bad battery contact, right? You can just take, this is what the things their knives are good for. You can take this and go across that and see if the car starts, or say you suspect this terminal might be corrosion on there, and if it starts, you can clean it. You need to clean that terminal. The other thing is, I like these pocket knives too, because cleaning these terminals with a little thin pocket knife like this, some people bitch about the stilettos, but they're perfect for cleaning any small pocket knife that's got not a really wide blade, fits in there, and it cleans it better than those special battery post cleaners. And it's a handy little freaking mechanics tool besides everything else tool. So but you could just check it real quick. Just if the lights get brighter by doing that, jumping it across from the terminal to that, by just putting the cutting edge on there, well, you got a dirty terminal. And these things are also a theft deterrent, because say somebody jumps in your car and they don't open up the hood, and they hotwire the car, or they pull out the ignition lock or whatever. Say it's an older style car, like this thing's a 78. Well, if you got your battery, it's better to have the fuel disconnected, even better so than the battery. But if you have the battery disconnected, that'll slow them down. They got to find out what the problem is. In the meantime, you might be out there filling them full of holes, right? But if I found out without this disconnect, and if you got a really good battery in here, 3-4 months later, it'll still start the car even with this connected, right? But every time you're doing that, and you just start it and you're running for 5 minutes, you're draining this down. You're also draining down you want to keep it topped up, so it stays topped up better, which means the electrolyte stays in a solution where it belongs, and the plates don't sulfate as easy, which means the battery will last longer by having one of these. And this is what you really want for an occasional use vehicle, which could be your 4x4, your truck. And this is a truck too. It's an El Camino, It's a truck car, but it's got a pickup truck bed in the back of it. but I don't use it too much, and I find that that's very useful. And like I said, when I charge it, the battery, I just flip this off. You don't really need to do that. I know on the Bedini charger recommendations, they tell you to do it that way. It makes it real easy. It's got several uses. One, theft deterrent. It's a better method of charging the battery with the Bedini charger that rejuvenates the battery. Number three, it stops all parasitic draw from occurring, which means even though the car might start 3 months later with this thing connected, doing a parasitic draw, why let the battery draw down and start sulfating the plates a little bit? So just by this preventive measure, doing that, this battery might, I've had batteries that lasted more than 7 years. They were only like 2 or 3 year guarantee batteries, and I had one last 17 years that was a 1 year guarantee battery by doing some of these methods. So that can save you a lot of money. But the other thing is you got that reliability issue. You know, you got a full battery when you go to start this thing a few months later, no parasitic draw, you reconnect it, it should be fully charged. So you're good to go.